True innovators discover ways to go beyond just a single big idea.
Needs for architects and what we can bring has never been stronger, and it is, let's say, an extremely dynamic and challenging moment.
Innovation creates value. Value is the difference between innovation and pure invention.
What we have to sell is the power of design. Design can change lives. It can make the world a better place. Now that sounds like a truism, but it's true.
We're at a point in the field, I think, to where we need to start collaborating and looking outside of what our own silos are.
The future of practice is becoming increasingly decentralized, and that's a response to a generational shift in a value-based society.
I think as designers and especially as architects, we are so well positioned both from our academic training as well as our day-to-day work to not only affect but lead change.
Traditional design services are constantly being affected by other services within the industry, and so finding other ways in which we can provide value to our clients, I think, is really important. And that requires innovation in how we think about delivering our services and actually what those services are.
You've shared some team conversations and ideas leading up to this event, and now you have one day to come up with an innovative practice model intended to impact the future of architectural practice.
So because our team didn't know each other initially, we actually followed the syllabus and we used it as an opportunity to get on a call each week leading up to meeting in person here. And we really wanted to understand the types of business models where we're currently working, what we thought works well, what doesn't, and really get to understand what each of our personal takes on it were before we met in person, because we wanted to start meshing those ideas together and get a better understanding of where each of us were coming from individually so we could make a really powerful team pitch here at the Practice Innovation Lab.
It's interesting now, the consultants, I think, are working in a different way now. So my project teams are not all architects or designers. We're pulling experts from other fields, and I think we need to do that more and more.
Our team's big idea is to change the narrative that the building construction industry is basically developed for financial gain.
Our team's big idea is data and give it away for free. But I'll leave it at that.
What I hope to convince you of today is to add technology, and in particular interactive technology, to the list of areas where architects can have a real impact.
We're living in a very disruptive and uncertain time. Where's your passion? And how are you going to make this a compelling argument for your model?
We're designing something that is going to have that aha moment for someone that comes in there, that high design.
You really don't know how to solve the problem until you listen and engage in the community.
It's always served us well to kind of just at least understand someone else's framework and then present whatever we were trying to do for them in that context.
The term design thinking is used quite liberally these days, and on the one hand that's great. On the other hand, I think it's been sort of usurped in ways that it wasn't necessarily intended to be used. And just simply put, design thinking really puts the needs and values of humans at the center of innovation. So here's how the pitch face-off will work. The teams will go in tandem, so one team will come up, give their pitch. I think the second team they'll go sit down, the second team will give their pitch, and then those two teams will come up to the stage and will respond to the questions.
We're not a firm. And what we're trying to do is address this audience as well as audiences outside of this room.
So traditionally, you can have an equity partner who is investing a lot of time and money. They're doing it habitually. But we want to turn you or me into one of those equity partners.
We connect, we support, we open new doors, and we enable small firms to act big, stay small, and do good.
We can define the design criteria that shape those problems if we get involved now. Otherwise, another industry is going to come and do it for us.
Architects can somehow empower themselves to not just be so burdened down with trying to stay in business and doing work for the big developers. We can actually, influence change in the communities that we work in.
Really inspired me to kind of go back to my business plan, my business model for my own personal business, and begin to try to figure out a way I can slowly tap into those ideologies until they grow.
This event has inspired me to not only share from an educational standpoint back to my own firm everything that I've learned, innovations from all the different teams, but it's also given me the motivation of trying to at least plan or explore the idea of having an own practice that is more relevant and in tune with the current needs of the market.
One of the greatest things about this event is the network, like most of your ideas. Exchange information, talk with each other, and just keep going with your ideas.